and we are now diving into our second series of the day. Oh god. Again, exclamation mark Funada, the admin of this tournament, because the seeding is absolutely insane. Because spawning in the bottom left hand corner, oh god. I have the wrong team name. I wasn't able to set this up in time. It'll be ready for game 2. Shaking my head. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have one of our very own, the CranKy Duckling himself, the Copa Hyperion champion, as he did win last week, the Peruvian Zerg. It is Ryu. And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player himself, representing Amantes de StarCraft. It is MasTeR. And I want to remind everyone, this tournament is every other week, every fortnight. And the champion of Sentimiento Latino number 125 was MasTeR. The runner-up, second place of Sentimiento Latino 125 was Ryu. These two, they faced off in the finals of the last tournament, and MasTeR came out on top. That is why I'm like, what the hell? What happened to the seeding? It's insane that our two finalists are facing off so early on in today's tournament. It is so brutal that is how this is happening. So this is going to be a rematch, and MasTeR won last time. But I also want to say that last week in Copa Hyperion, Ryu was the champion, and MasTeR actually, he couldn't make it as far. I think he got knocked out in the quarterfinals. I think he had a hard time against Jim Rising, if I recall correctly. The VODs are on our YouTube channel, exclamation mark YouTube in the chat, if you want to have a look at all of our VODs, if you are interested in some of the lore and history and some other series that all these players have competed in and played against each other. So yeah, this is honestly pretty hard to call. Obviously, I have my favorite, you know, I want my boy Ryu to come out on top here, because again, the winner of this series has a clear path all the way to the semifinals. But it's hard to call. it's just hard to call. MasTeR has become such a beast in recent memory. There was a time where he was a solid mid-tier player. He was in the shadow of Shakti and Paco Mike and Zions. But now he's really coming into his own. It's really cool to see that even though, you know, some may say we're in the twilight years of StarCraft, there are still players that are up and coming. There are still players that are improving and just getting better and better results and breaking out into the scene. And I would say that is MasTeR in this case. MasTeR and Tabo, both of them. So we'll see if he's able to take down someone of the likes of Ryu again. What I will say is that I know that Ryu, you know, he's got a bit of a grudge. He's like, este pinche MasTeR, mate, let's go. And already he's being so annoying with these, oh my god, with these lings, and they even get 3 probes. One of them was across the map, to be fair, but 2 probes for 1 ling, not bad. And the ling gets a full scout of the main base. So MasTeR, even though he was trying to keep his tech hidden, Ryu confirms that it is going to be a Stargate opener. He doesn't have to waste his Overlord, and immediately he pulls back. Of course, this Overlord here will be used later on. Right now it's hidden from the Void Ray if a Void Ray does come out, and then Ryu will dive back in later on with Lair with an Overseer. Meanwhile, Ryu even takes control of those watchtowers as well, as the Oracle is going across the map. Bearing in mind that Ryu did confirm that it was an Oracle first, and even with this watchtower, wow, Ryu sees everything. The vision that Ryu has is absolutely insane. Oracle comes out across the map, but there is no excuse for Ryu not to be ready, and there we go, the Queens are already here at the natural and forces back. So a great start here for Ryu, even getting pneumatized carapace behind this, again, to confirm the scout, to confirm what is going on, especially because we do have a Void Ray, and the goal of this Void Ray is to clean up all of the Overlords, and more importantly, to hunt down this Overlord as well, to make sure that Ryu is in the dark about the follow-up. Meanwhile, the Oracle dips in and does get 1 drone kill, not bad, even gets a tag on this base as well. This is something that Ryu has been doing recently, and I don't know if I love it, but I understand it, is that Ryu has been getting his lair at his 3rd base. Obviously, as a Zerg player, you don't want to get in the main. far too often does the main base get sniped by Void Rays. It happens more often than anyone would like. So the main base is not safe. Because of that, a lot of Zerg players actually get their lair at their natural, but I think Ryu, especially because like this is a more fortified base where there's a lot more vision and there's typically an army here at the third, I think he feels like this third is just safer, so it's just the overall safer place to take that lair. The risk of taking it here at the natural is that there is dead space here. Like, it is possible for Void Race to come in and snipe it anyway if you don't respond in time. And sadly, we have seen that happen to Ryu before. we have seen him lose his lair more than a couple of times. You know, it's one of those things where he's learning from that. He's hoping that this lair is safer than it otherwise would be. Meanwhile, we don't just have a second Stargate, we have a third Stargate. Oh my god, and a fleet beacon, so MasTeR is going full sky toss at the moment. Ay. So we're seeing mass Void Ray. I imagine this fleet beacon is going to be for Flux Veins, so the Void Rays can actually maintain their presence on the map and counterattack as well, and then eventually transition into carriers. What's important though is that this has been nerfed. This is the first Sentimiento Latino of the new patch, and because of that, the Void Rays are a little bit more expensive, they take longer to pump out, so this is weaker compared to what it used to be. Void Rays are about to rock up, they catch a couple of transferring workers. Ooh, they could even get the Evo Chamber, and there we go, they activate their Prismatic Alignment. Just like that, the Evo Chamber gets sniped. +1 is denied. The queens are not too far away, but at the same time, the queens get distracted, and the stasis trap goes off at the third base. The lair may be safe, but the mineral line is not, and MasTeR is able to get away. And again, this is the scary thing. Like, MasTeR, he's slowly stopping creep spread here. He's killing out all the overlords. Like, if there was a lair here, again, it would be vulnerable. Meanwhile, quickly checking the vision of Ryu, he did go in with his Overseer earlier with Pneumatized Carapace. He did confirm everything in the main, so he knows that it's going to be Sky Toss, and that is why we see not just a Spire on the way, but also an Infestation Pit and a Hive on the way as well. So Ryu is getting ready to go into Corruptors as well as Vipers. I imagine it's going to be Vipers and not Infestors. So yeah, that's going to be his tech of choice. The problem is that it does take a while to get there. There are some Zerg players who actually like going Hydra first and then Spire. The point of that is that you only get like 6 to 9 Hydras, and that just keeps you safe alongside your queens, so you don't die to the Void Rays, and then you can safely get into the Corruptors. Ryu is taking a bit of a risk here. He's relying a lot on all of these queens, and I say all these queens, there are only 8 queens. Honestly, like, this isn't a lot. And a lot of these are injecting queens as well, so they don't have a lot of energy. So if MasTeR pushes out with his first couple of carriers, Ryu is going to be in a hard, like, he's not in a great place. Like, this push could kill Ryu before Ryu gets Vipers. The Hive is done, our first Viper is on the way, but the Viper needs time to gather energy. And Ryu may not have that time because MasTeR is already pushing out. Oh no, the queen! Okay, one queen was almost caught out. There we go, the transfuses are just barely on point. Ryu is able to hold on for now, but again, he has to buy time. He has to buy time for the rest of the Corruptors. Oh boy, the Corruptors are popping out. Oh my god, that was so clutch. They come out just as the push was hitting him, and just like that, MasTeR is forced back. The Corruptors, again, come out just in time, and now Ryu has able to get away with this. Vipers are now on the way, second Spire as well for double upgrades. He has successfully survived the mid game, and now we are going into the late game. And with what MasTeR has, he can't break this. Not anymore. Not against Queens, Vipers, and Corruptors. So he's forced to slowly expand, refine his army. It's not like he was tunnel visioning. Like, he has been taking up. We do have Disruptors on the way. We do have Charge on the way as well. So MasTeR will have a ground army to support his air, but arguably not the best. Oh my god, oh my god! The slow baits! The speed baits! That was so close. Only a handful of probes go down. Thankfully, MasTeR was able to respond in time, kept the majority of them alive. But what I'm talking about is, ideally, you need Archons. They are some of the best counter against Corruptors because they kind of abuse the Corruptor, punish the Corruptor, I should say, when the Corruptors bunch up and try and dive on top of this army. High Templar have been morphed in. We need a little bit more time though to get those Archons. We don't have Storm either, bearing in mind. I don't know if that's a mistake from from MasTeR, or he's actually just using them for feedbacks. Up, up, up. Ooh, he does get 2, but not before Parasitic Bomb does connect with the army. And just like that, oh, the Void Rays, they're split off from the carriers. No, Puppy, please. Just like that, 2 carriers get sniped. MasTeR being punished for his army movement there. I understand that he had to split away. He had to split away because of the Parasitic Bomb, but just like that, Ryu, he saw an opening and he went for it. At the same time, we have a massive Ling flood being set up, not just a Ling flood, but also Banelings. And again, this army is terrifying. Like, Ryu can't fight this head on, so he's going to go for counterattacks. He's going to try and destroy and just absolutely eviscerate the economy of MasTeR. And there's no wall. Oh no! And for none of the adepts, the wall is not a wall. At the same time, oh god, MasTeR, he wants to fight. He is not turning around. He knows that he has the better army. He's just going all in. Just like that, every single worker in his main base and his natural is going down. He gets a hatchery. Can he get more? Up! God, he wants those feedbacks. Again, there is no turning around. Not anymore. MasTeR has to win with what he has. And again, he still has a pretty terrifying army. He doesn't have Storm, but he does have Disruptors. And a couple of Archons. Oh, God. Meanwhile, Ryu is being patient. He's trying to buy some time. He's trying to get a couple more Corruptors. Oh, no, the feedbacks! The feedbacks do connect. One Parasitic Bomb does land on the carriers, but on the carriers, they need to be with the Void Rays. And just like that, every single Queen goes down. MasTeR, he's going to keep on going. The Hive is going to go down, but not the Spire, and we still have plenty more Corruptors in production. We have Ultras on the way as well. And that's exactly what we need. Ultras are going to help deal with those Archons on the ground as well as the Disruptors. Meanwhile, he's catching reinforcements. Oh my god, and literally everything else is just flashing red on the mini-map. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, the Protoss army keeps on going. Oh my god, he just runs into all the Banelings. Almost every single Zealot goes down. Again, Ryu can't really engage with this if the Archons are in position, but the Archons are kind of, well, okay, they gotta calm down. They need to kind of regroup with the rest of the army. Oh god. The Ultras are slowly coming out. Another carrier gets picked up, as well as the Void Ray. And this is it. This is going to be the final fight. Another Void Ray goes down. This time we do have a Parasitic Bomb on the Void Rays. And just like that, I don't think there's going to be enough. The Archons are doing what they can, but there are just too many Corruptors. And just like that, MasTeR's army gets picked apart. GG gets called, and Ryu does it. He wins game number 1. Oh, he was so patient. He was so patient, and that's how you have to be as a Zerg player. When you force the all-in like that, when you force the base trade, it's like, okay, sure, he's going to take like a hatchery, 2 hatcheries. He's going to get my Hive as well. I need to slowly gather some energy on my Vipers. I need to slowly get more Ultras out, more Corruptors out as well. I need to stay calm. I need to stay calm, because if you don't stay calm, that's when you A move, and that's when you lose everything. And that's GG. Ooh. Ah. Also want to give a bit of a shout out to Tsunami SC2 in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope you're enjoying some Latin American StarCraft. And that was pretty close, but I also want to praise Ryu a little bit when it comes to his scouting. If you remember, he got his scout off with the slow Lings early on. He was controlling the map with the watchtowers. He went back in with his Overseer. Like, he always had eyes on what MasTeR was doing, and he always knew the correct response for that. Oh boy. And with that, we are diving into game number 2, and this time we're going to be joined by the Portuguese caster. Cosmos is going to be joining us for this match. Oh boy. Massive shout out to Cosmos SC2. He was actually playing in today's tournament, but he got knocked out, I believe. Yes, he got 2-0'd by Kamikaze. Oh, feels bad, man. Feels bad. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have one of the best Zerg players in all of Latino America. We have the CranKy Duckling himself. It is the Peruvian Zerg. It is Ryu. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing Amantes de StarCraft. Again, he's our previous Sentimiento Latino champion. Can he bring it back? It is MasTeR. Oh boy. And I'm curious as to how MasTeR will approach this, because for the people who didn't get to watch our last Sentimiento Latino, MasTeR was able to defeat Ryu in a best of 5 mainly off of Twilight Council openings, or Twilight Council follow-ups after the Stargate. Remember, the Stargate, he never really went into Skytoss. The one game that MasTeR did go Skytoss, Ryu won. Ryu was able to dominate the skies. He was able to just shut all of that down. Again, it's one of those things where Ryu is the most comfortable against Skytoss, not so much against things like Glaive Adept pushes, Immortal all-ins, or Blink Stalker all-ins as well. Ground toss is something that Ryu struggles a little bit more with. So MasTeR was able to abuse that in the previous edition of this tournament. Can he do it again? I was shocked that he went double Stargate Void Ray last game. I should say triple Stargate Void Ray into carriers. Like, that's kind of what Ryu wants you to do. Like, Ryu is so confident against that. So, yeah, we'll see what MasTeR brings to the table. I will be surprised if he goes double Stargate again. I'll be shocked if that happens. Yeah, it just shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen. What kind of world are we living in? As so far, MasTeR is just scouting on the other side of the map, making sure that the goal base hasn't been taken. It's up to you if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but Ryu is more of a standard player. He doesn't necessarily go for the goal base early or anything like that. He's not very cheesy as a player either. That's just not his MO. It's not his style of play, I should say. He's just solid. He's like a rock. Except in ZVZ. In ZVZ, he has been known for 12. But you know, that's ZVZ. It's a different beast. Alright, as so far across the map, the two Slowlings try to find their way in, and it looks like this time they will not. MasTeR is much more on point with his adept control, and Ryu sees nothing. Oh, no, never mind. He saw nothing with his lings, but his one Overlord did dip his toes into the main base and immediately saw the Stargate opening. Ay. So nicely done there by Ryu. He's well aware of the initial opening for our Protoss player. MasTeR is going to try and keep Ryu back. Is he going to commit to... Okay. He doesn't commit to the shade. Doesn't want to throw away his adepts yet. But again, just confirming that there is, in fact, a third base on the way. So the drone headed over in that direction. We're droning up as well. Nothing crazy is going on the Zerg side of things. And I love this. Instead of going for a second Stargate, he goes for a Twilight Council. Again, like, this is what he needs to be doing. This is what catches Ryu a little bit more off guard. Meanwhile, that Spotter Overlord was sniped. Pneumatized Carapace is still on the way though, so Ryu is still going to attempt to send in a follow-up scout to confirm the Twilight Council. But even if you see a Twilight Council, it could be Glaive Adepts, it could be it could be DTs, depending on, you know, the timing and how many gases have been taken. But this time, there we go, it is going to be Adepts. Oh boy. There is a third base behind this, by the way. So this is a build that has risen in popularity after IEM last year, where there is no Robo, there is no Warp Prism, so you actually have to just run your Adepts across the map, but you have a mass amount of them, and there's a little bit more of a surprise factor to it as well, because when Ryu scouts, he's not going to see a Robo, and you can't go Robo because you opened up with a Stargate instead. So it's a little bit more committed, and obviously you can't really reinforce across the map because there is no Warp Prism, but regardless, like, there's still so much potential, and like, these kind of Glaive Adept pushes have ended games before. It's insane. Oh god. Meanwhile, Ryu still hasn't gone in. There we go. The Overlord is poised to go into the natural base, maybe even the main from here. The Void Ray is not quite in position. The Void Ray is outside the gold instead, so that means that the Overlord will get in and he will be able to scout everything. Confirms the Forge, confirms the Adepts as they move out as well. Solid spotterling here, and also confirms the amount of gateways in the main base. Only 4 gates. There's not 6 or 8, so it's not a crazy all-in or anything like that. So here we go, the Adepts are about to rock up. What do we have to defend? Roaches are on the way, but it's all about whether or not they're going to be in position here. Oh my god, we see a full wall off at the natural. Is it going to be enough? MasTeR, he commits to the shade, tries to break through, realizes that he can't, and he's forced to back up. Oh my god, the wall is no longer a wall. Can he get in? Up, up! Ah, the drone was not fast enough. Barely not fast enough. Also, a Roach just happened to be going over that spot at the same time, so the Roach just couldn't, so the drone just couldn't wall off in time. And now, drones are falling. Roaches are good, but they just can't keep up. They can't keep up with the mobility of all these Adepts. Meanwhile, they are trapped. We do still have a full wall off, so Ryu will finally clean this up. But 7 drones went down. Oh. Just like that, MasTeR, he takes the worker lead. He takes the economic lead, and from here, he is transitioning into Blink Stalkers and Immortals. An army composition that happens to be amazing against Roaches. Oh. And this is what I'm worried about. As I was about to say, like, the follow-up Blink Stalker push is gonna hit so hard. But before that, MasTeR, he actually warped in another wave of Adepts. He's going again. And honestly, this is pretty unexpected. And again, it may just catch Ryu completely off guard. Oh, but Ryu, he kept his drone ready. He knows he's ready to wall off. I love it. As Ryu did transfer all of his drones over to the gold base. Oh, feels bad, man. No. Mining is going to be denied at the gold, and this is the problem with the gold base. It's so difficult to really mine efficiently there and without getting abused by the other side of that mineral line. The Roaches are able to force all the Adepts back for the time being. Looks like Ryu is trying to get into Hydras as well as Lurkers. I mean, ideally against Ground Toss, Hydra, Lurker, Viper is the composition of choice. Oh. As he ends up meeting the army of MasTeR. That's a lot of sentries. That is a lot of force fields. Oh my god. Ryu barely backs up. At the same time, Glaive Adepts keep trying to get in, but Ryu is just so on point with that wall. You love to see it. It's so difficult to do this, by the way, but almost every single time he's able to wall off and deny all those Adepts, and now he just has to worry about the main army. MasTeR once again denying a little bit of mining there at the gold base. The queens are exposed! And just like that, 2 queens are gonna get sniped. Oh, just barely. War Prism did take a little bit of damage. It is a little bit exposed as well to some wilds, but oh my god, Ryu pushing deep off of creep. I don't know if this is the right move. Just like that, his army gets cut in half. Uh-oh. And MasTeR, with some amazing force fields, is able to take that fight and keep on pushing. Ryu lost a lot there, and as all this is happening, he's trying to be greedy and tech up into Lurkers, but I don't think that's where he should be spending his money. Like, he needs to not die. Oh boy, we'll see if he can get away with it. 12 more Roaches on the way, more Ravagers on the way as well. It looks like this space is going to be forfeit, but Ryu is expanding towards the north. I would love a double expand from him, but again, he's just trying to pump out as many units as possible. In the midst of all this, goes for a bit of a counterattack. Only 2 links, but he does force a warp in at home. Oh my god, oh my god. I'm sure he was hoping the force fields weren't going to connect, but there we go. They finally get dealt with, and now that is it. The sentries are out of energy. And now Ryu can finally break on forward. Is it going to be enough? That one Immortal has been dishing out so much damage. Finally, it's going to be taken out. But there's still so many Blink Stalkers. And it looks like it may just be too much. Reinforcements are trickling in, but we have the Blink forward, and GG gets called. MasTeR takes game number 2. Ugh. I don't know if you saw, but Hydras are coming out towards the end there. Again, Ryu was trying to get into Hydras and Lurkers, but MasTeR pushed out just before that happened. GG. GG. And like these are the pushes that Ryu has issues with. Like MasTeR, he actually, I think he did the exact same thing last week. Or 2 weeks ago now, but it was on a different map. It was on Berlingrad, if I remember correctly. Again, these like shorter maps, like these ground pushes hit very hard, and I get it, Ryu. You know, he wants the lunkers, he wants the lurkers so badly. They're so good, they're such a great unit, but you gotta slow things down, right? Go Roach Ravager, get Lings out as well to help support your army. That helps so much, especially against Stalkers and Immortals. Ryu was just trying to cut corners there. Oof. GG. Cosmos is saying hi. Buenos dias, Cosmos. Buenos dias. Fala galera. Fala galera. Ugh. Exclamation mark B. Oh, big bracket today. Hello, Fernando. Yo, it's been a while. I don't remember seeing you here last week, but yes, it's been a while, Fernando. It's great to see you in the chat, and yes, we do have a big bracket today. It's massive. It's insane. All the big names, most of the big names showed up. Only a couple didn't. The big ones being, of course, I gotta bring him up, especially because Fernando is in the chat. Paco Mike, yo, where is Paco Mike? Where is Jim Rising? I think Jim Rising is taking a day off. Fun fact, for those who don't remember or didn't know, Jim Rising is going to be a dad, and he actually posted some pictures on Twitter. I think he's like out, like he's like at La Playa, like at the beach with his wife or with his girlfriend. And they're just like having a day off together, having a day off. Feels good, man, feels good. But that does mean that Jim Rising, Paco Mike, they're not here. Shelby signed up, but then forfeited. Funada Shelby. God damn it, Shelby. So there are only a couple that didn't make it, but everyone else is here. And speaking of everyone else, here he is spawning in the top right hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE. We have the Peruvian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing Amantes de StarCraft, the previous Sentimiento Latino champion. It is MasTeR. And what I will say is that that game that we had on Blackburn is very specific to Blackburn. On a map like this, you're not going to be in a situation where your fourth base is going to be consistently denied mining because of the way that the gold base works, because of the mineral line placement. We're also not going to have as strong pushes because the rush distance by ground is much longer on a map like Glittering Ashes. So again, the map really did come into play with how MasTeR was able to take the win there. Here on Glittering Ashes, I'm going to say that he probably needs to approach this in a bit of a different manner. We saw that the Glaive Adept opening did get 7 drone kills, but Glaive Adept follow-up, not opening. But the follow-up to that, like going for Glaive Adepts again, was kind of a waste. If you recall, no damage was done, and I don't think it's a wisest choice to try and do that again to Ryu here. Unless he goes Twilight Council first. We'll see. We shall see. MasTeR already setting himself up a little bit by denying the natural base, forcing the unnatural natural. So if there were Glaive Adepts, if it was a Twilight Council opening, then maybe MasTeR could get even more damage done. But we see, no, it's going to be a Stargate again. Again, this doesn't mean Void Ray play necessarily, but it does mean that Ryu is going to have to work that extra bit harder to figure out what MasTeR is really doing. There we go, as the first 2 slow lings are going to make their way in. Uno más! Just barely, not the slow lane does get into the main base, and Ryu confirms the Stargate. He's trying to juke the Adept. Oh god, can he get out? Can he get out? He doesn't get surrounded by the probes. Oh my god, what? Oh, interesting. So he actually weaved back in, and from all he saw an oracle coming out. And immediately, as soon as that oracle was spotted, and as soon as that Ling was killed, boom, MasTeR canceled the oracle and went for the Void Ray. I love it. I love the mind games. So now Ryu is getting spores in position for an oracle when there is no oracle, when instead of Void Ray is going to come out and try and punish these overlords instead. Meanwhile, Ryu is again moving his overlords out a little bit more, assuming they're going to be safe. And, oh no! MasTeR, please! He doesn't find it. Okay, there we go. MasTeR, he was looking for this overlord, but he just barely missed it, and Ryu with his spotter Ling confirms that there is in fact a Void Ray coming out. So now he's going to be getting ready for it. We have Pneumatize's Carapace on the way as well, so that we can scout the follow-up, and we can see that once again, for the second game in a row, MasTeR is going for that Twilight Council. I don't know about this. He's going for Glaive Adepts again for the second game in a row, and they did give him a little bit of success last game, but I really don't think that it's wise to do it 2 games in a row. We'll see. It's all about execution. It's just one of those things where you kind of put Ryu on notice, right? Like, he's now a little bit warmed up against those Glaive Adepts, and we can even see here he's walling off, getting ready for them. We'll see as the Overlord is able to dive in, and once again he confirms the gases, he confirms the Twilight Council, it's researching, there is no forge, the likelihood of this being Blink Stalkers isn't very high, and he even spots the Adepts in the natural. Ryu sees everything, now he knows 100% what's coming his way, and he already has his drone ready and waiting to throw down that wall. No pressure, buddy, but you gotta be on point. You gotta be able to wall off. Depths are coming across the map. Ryu was able to confirm this with his Ling. And the real question is, do we have enough roaches? Do we have enough army? We have a couple of queens here at the third base. The shade is coming on. We did wall. No, the queen! For now, the queen! No! The queen! Ryu, por qué? Don't like this. The queen blocked the wall. Ay, ay, ay. Everything was looking so good, and now suddenly everything is looking awful as 6 drones are already going down. The Adepts still have not been cleaned up. They shade once again into the natural base. This time there is a wall, but this time the Adepts are getting far more damage. Ryu was ready for it. He was ready for it, but it didn't even matter. 8 drones go down. Once again, MasTeR takes the worker lead. Ay, ay, ay. And MasTeR is going out once again. So what's important is that there is a little bit of a difference here. This time, MasTeR did not warp in a second wave of Adepts. This is the same Adepts that went out initially. So he's not going to waste any resources on even more Adepts, recognizing that they're not going to get too much damage done. And he is saving those resources to go even harder into these Blink Stalkers. And oh boy, there are going to be a lot of Blink Stalkers. Like, what is this? 9 gates? 9 gates, mate. He's fully saturated on 3 bases. Look at his worker count. He's got 73 workers, 73 probes. War Prism is done, and as soon as the War Prism is done, MasTeR is going across the map. And this is terrifying. Oh my god. Meanwhile, the Adepts do shade in. They're going to be cleaned up, but you know, they're a little bit pesky. They're a little bit annoying. Ryu, I do like that he is staying on Roach Ravager. He's even further investing into borrowed roaches and borrow as well. Even going into an, I don't know about this, infestation pit and Hydra Den. He's taking up quite a bit. Meanwhile, I am now shocked. Even though MasTeR threw down 5 more gates, he has 9 gates, by the way. He goes for a 4th base. He doesn't counterattack. I thought he threw down all these gates to go for like a massive push. He even has the War Prism for the push as well. But instead, he's getting a 4th and he's taking up. He's getting a Robotic Spay, he's getting more gateways, he's got a Fleet Beacon, he's transitioning into Sky Toss. I think MasTeR is missing his opportunity. I think he could have maybe like pushed out and abused the fact that Ryu was himself taking up a little bit too much. And now instead we're going into late game, and MasTeR is giving the opportunity to Ryu for Ryu to drone up, get more bases, get more tech, and have another shot. At the same time, it's not like he's being passive. We do see a little bit of harassment here. The War Prism is being active. Oh my god, no! No, the Prism! No, puppy! No! At the same time, the Prism goes down, and in come the Borrowed Roaches. We got Borrowed Roaches here at... Oh no, there's a cannon, so they get revealed here at the third base, but not in the main. Cannons are on the way, but it's a little bit too late. Even the carriers get spotted. MasTeR, you give Ryu an inch and he goes a mile, mate. He is just sending it. We have Roaches here in the main, in the natural, at the third base. At the same time, Hydra's coming out. So even though we have a carrier transition, do we have enough to support the carriers? We don't have Storm. We don't have Disruptors. We have Colossus instead, question mark, without Extended Thermal Lance. And Ryu's getting ready for the kill. He's getting ready. He's taking down the rocks. He's going for it. Roaches are finally being cleaned up. But again, I don't think Colossus are the right play here. Especially because we're going to have some Vipers. Like, Ryu is getting into Hydra Lurker Viper. Carriers and Colossus are exactly what he wants to fight against. We'll see Ryu getting a little bit caught out here. The Stalkers are able to shave off a couple of these Zerg units. Not bad at all. Ryu being forced back, but that's okay. Ryu doesn't have to fight right now. He has 3 Vipers on the way. Oh, but this push is getting a little bit scary. That's a lot of sentries, and we don't have that many Ravagers. MasTeR, is he gonna keep going? Carrier? Turn around? Are we gonna turn around? Are we gonna turn around? MasTeR, not like this! Not like this! No! Run away! Oh, we have a recall! Calculated. It's okay, it was all part of the plan. Oh god. He's going for the mental attack, you know? He's like, oh mate, look at me. I'm so far ahead I can give you a carrier. Psych. It's okay, it's okay. He didn't lose the carrier. Forces a recall. Not the biggest of deal. It's fine, it's fine. What isn't fine is that now Lurkers are coming out. Adaptive Talons is on the way. We have our Hive, we have our Vipers. This is all scouted, but I don't know if, like I don't think MasTeR can really tangle with this. Again, he has a Colossus. He doesn't have Extended Thermal Lance. Like, he's missing a crucial upgrade here. And even if he had the upgrade, there we go, he now realizes, oh, he's trying to chrono out that upgrade as fast as possible. Oh my god, it's so important to his Colossus. It's so important, especially against Hydras. Oh boy, and here we go. He finally takes down these rocks. He's going to be pushing himself onto creep, but mate, Ryu is ready. Oh, we have a yoink. Immediately, the Colossus goes down, and that was the only Colossus. That was it. That's all the splash damage. If Ryu wants to, he can just aim him on this. Oh god, has to be careful not to be caught in a choke point. Oh, has to be careful by the Vipers. Nice target fire. One Viper gets sniped. Like, without the Vipers, Ryu is going to be having a hard time here, but there we go. The Lurkers do dive in. That talent is done. No, another Colossus. No. Oh, we didn't have an Abduct. He went for the Blinding Cloud instead. The Colossus survives. Ay. Ryu will have to back off for a moment. He has to regather that energy. He doesn't have any Vipers ready. Not for this attack. Like, but what do we need? We need Storm. Storm would be so good right now. Storm is all that MasTeR needs, but he doesn't have a Templar Archive. He doesn't have a Templar Archives. He doesn't have Storm. Doesn't have a Templar. Doesn't have anything. He has one Colossus. Yo, and the Vipers are ready. They're coming out. All we need is one Abduct. The Ravagers get thrown away, that's fine. We don't need Ravagers, not anymore. Oh boy. And from here, Ryu is even transitioning into that Spire. Corruptors are already on the way. Like, Ryu is getting the most ideal Zerg army, and MasTeR is still stuck in a really awkward position. More of carriers get sniped. Oh my god. 2, 3. 3. Wait. Yeah. We still only have one. Like, if we're gonna go into Colossus, may as well get a second Robo, right? Double Colossus production. Let's go. Like, one Robo is not enough. And just like that, everything else of worth is being yoinked out of the sky. Ryu bullying the Protoss army at the same time. MasTeR is trying to go for a more adept harass, but there's static defense at home. Ryu doesn't even care. Like, MasTeR is maxed out, sure, but he just doesn't have the army he needs. He's just losing everything. Oh boy, just like that, Ryu just forces him all the way back home. What do we have to defend? We are making 3 carriers at a time, but again, carriers aren't the most ideal unit at the moment against all these corruptors and hydras. We need a more diverse pool of splash damage. Without it, this happens. Oh my god. The miss rally. There are too many lurkers, by the way. Like, lurkers are good, but lurkers also don't shoot up. I mean, I guess corruptors are making up for that. I take it back, we're fine. All the hydras can be morphed into lurkers, don't worry about it. And just like that, the corruptors, they don't just take out the carriers, they take out the Colossus as well. Like, MasTeR was just caught tunnel visioning a little bit too much. Every single high-tech unit goes down. He only has gateway units remaining. DTs and Stalkers, and that is it. G gets called. And Ryu does it. Ryu was able to take the series 2-1. GG, well played. Congratulations, Ryu. I was honestly scared. I was worried for Ryu because remember, the Glaive Adepts did a lot of damage. More than they should have. More than they did in game number 2. And from that position, I thought MasTeR was going to go for that big all-in, that big Stalker push. And instead, he threw down a 4th base and he threw down 2 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. Like, he had an option. He had, like, there were 2 paths to take. Tech up or take advantage of, like, of the momentum you have and just roll over your opponent. And I understand it's a hard call to make. He didn't see everything that we saw. He didn't recognize how far ahead he already was. Instead, he wanted a safer and secure victory, taking up. But even the direction that he was taking into was flawed. Carriers are good, Colossus are okay, but when you're relying on Colossus for your splash damage, 1, you need a second Robo. 2, Colossus on their own are never what you want. You want a combination of Colossus and Disruptor, or Colossus and Storm, or Colossus and Storm and Disruptor, right? Like, you need some diversity there. You cannot rely on one of them. Otherwise, it's so easy for the Zerg army to adapt to your composition and deal with it, right? It's so much more difficult when multiple different sources of splash damage come into play, and then the Zerg player has to start panicking a little bit more, and controlling their army a little bit differently as well, and going for a different composition in general. But yeah. GG, well played, congratulations. Our CranKy Duckling Ryu does advance on, and he moves on to the quarterfinals. Congratulations. What? What? Okay. Something crazy just happened. No disrespect to Loki. I love Loki. Loki is a great player. He's another Chilean player. But we just got news. Loki 2-0'd Chaos Fate. That was not meant to that is an upset. That was not supposed to happen. Okay. Never mind. I saw the 2-0 in challenge. I was just notified by Darking. It was not a 2-0. Loki got a walkover over Chaos Fate. Funada Chaos Fate. Mate, what's going on? Chaos Fate and Shelby. They were both probably out drinking. Funada Chaos Fate. He didn't show up. Loki got the walkover. And that changes everything. Because Chaos Fate, he is one of the best Terran players that we have. and he easily would have made it to the semifinals. But for him to suddenly not show up, that means that one of our semifinalists is going to be a bit of a new face. Loki or Stop Sleep. I've never heard of Stop Sleep before. I don't know who he is. But that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Oh god.